Every single day, African farmers throw away materials that other businesses are actively paying for. Cassava peels, palm kernel shells, cocoa pods, even maize cobs. Here's the thing nobody tells you. The crop isn't always where the money ends. Sometimes the money starts after the crop has been harvested, processed, and thrown away. Today I'm giving you 7 of these. Not just what they are, what they become, who is quietly buying them, how someone with almost nothing could get in, and the one mistake that could wipe out your profit if nobody warns you about it. If it grows, if it's raised, or if it comes from the land, someone in Africa is about to become rich from it. My name is Tim. I'm about to show you how. And if you want to be one of those who would get rich from this, subscribe to this channel and let's make something happen. And then watch to the end, because you probably know where to find one of these wastes in abundance. My role here is to show you how you make money from it. So let's get into it with ridge number 7, groundnut shells. We are starting with something you've probably walked past 100 times without noticing. Every time groundnuts get shelled, whether at the market stall or a small processing point, you are left with dry papery husk. Almost everywhere, it just gets dumped or get burnt in the open, which honestly isn't great for the air or the soil around it. But shells like this are almost pure fiber, and fiber compresses. It means you can turn it to 4 briquettes, the kind that burn longer and cleaner than regular charcoal, and it also gets pressed into particle board for cheap furniture. Now here's what makes this one so accessible. You don't need to process anything yourself to make money from it. Briquettes makers already exist, and what they need isn't machinery, it's supply. Somebody who can consistently bring them shells. That's the whole business. You collect from 3 or 4 shelling points, bag it, and deliver. But be careful, this stuff is bulky and cheap per kilogram. So if your buyer is far from where you're collecting, transport alone can wipe out whatever you made. Keep it local when you're starting out, and before you collect a single bag, ask your buyer exactly what condition and moisture level they want. Confirm the deal before you touch a single shell. Now to ridge number 6, and I want to warn you about something before I even tell you what it is. Don't buy a machine yet. Seriously, this is where most beginners on this exact opportunity get it wrong. They hear the word business and go straight to buying equipment before they confirmed anyone will actually pay them. Alright, so let's go to it. Maize cobs. The hardcore left over after maize is shelled. It's normally burned in the heap or just left to rot in the field. But ground down, it becomes filler materials for livestock feed, and pressed properly, they turn into charcoal briquettes, which more and more people are switching to as cooking gas gets more expensive. Feed millers want cheap filler, and that's your first customer to go find. Not a machine, you need a buyer. If you're in a maize growing area, especially somewhere like northern Nigeria, where maize is everywhere, this raw material is never in short supply. The catch is that cobs are low value per kilogram, so this only really works at real volume. Small amount won't be worth your time or theirs. Ridge number 5 is the one almost nobody talks about: plantain and banana waste. Now, everyone thinks about the fruit. Nobody thinks about the peel. And almost nobody thinks about the stem, that thick fibrous trunk still standing after the bunch is harvested. The peels are easy entry point. Dried and grounded, they become feed additive and livestock producers will buy them. But the stem is where it gets genuinely interesting. That fiber you see can be turned into rope, into textile fiber. Let me tell you something shocking. In parts of Asia, banana fiber is already a real fashion and textile industry. Africa is producing the same exact raw material and mostly just leaving it to rot in the field. There is a catch though, and it's an important one. This stuff has high moisture content and breaks down fast. If you are not drying it quickly, you lose the entire batch before you've sold anything. So if you are near a plantain or banana growing community, start with the peels only. Get your drying process solid and a buyer locked in first. The stem fiber business is real, but it's a level to move, not where you begin. If you've ever walked through a cocoa farm right after harvest, you already know what ridge 4 is about. Piles of husks left to rot, sometimes attracting pests, sometimes just sitting there. I'm talking about cocoa pod husks. Those husks are full of potash, a mineral that's a key ingredient in organic fertilizer and also used in traditional soap making. And in cocoa regions like southwest Nigeria, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, small fertilizer and soap producers are already looking for cheaper raw materials than what they are currently using. Here's the honest limitation. Cocoa harvest is seasonal, so this isn't a year-round income stream on its own, unless you pair it with something else on this list to keep busy in off-season. Partner directly with 2 or 3 cocoa farms for husk collection, and separately, go find a local fertilizer or soap maker and ask exactly what volume and form they'd actually buy before you commit to anything. Now let's do some real quick math for a second, because I think this is the part that makes everything click. That will lead us to ridge number 3, which is sugarcane bagasse, the stringy pulp left behind after sugarcane is crushed for juice. Roadside sellers throw it out constantly, and sugar mills throw it out far more at industrial scale. So you collect this for close to nothing from a few roadside sellers. Transport and drying cost you, let's say $20 for a batch. Your seller, someone making eco-friendly packaging or biofuel pellets, pays you $40 for that same batch. That's roughly $20 in gross margin before your other running costs. And to be clear, that's hypothetical. Your real numbers depend entirely on your location and buyer. But that's the formula every single opportunity on this list runs on. Selling price minus collection, minus transport, minus processing equals your margin. Globally, a bagasse is used for packaging, disposal plates, particle board, biofuel. And as more businesses move away from plastic, that demand keeps growing, not shrinking. In Southern Africa, sugar mills already burn bagasse for their own energy at scale. The catch is that this material is bulky and is often already produced right next to the mills that generate it. So if you are not near a juice selling cluster or a sugar processing area, this one's a harder fit. Before we go to ridge number 2, there is something I'm certain of. Most people that have started with us have left already, but there are a few who are still here, the serious ones. If you're one of those, I want you to comment your country. Let's see what country outnumbers as we go to ridge number 2, which might be the most important one on this entire list because it comes with a warning most people skip, and that warning is exactly why the opportunity is still open. I'm talking about cassava peels. Cassava gets processed into gari, fufu and starch almost everywhere across West and Central Africa. Every single time, you are left with a mountain of peels. For years, that's just been fed to animals in small uncontrolled amounts or dumped entirely. Here's the catch. You cannot simply dry raw cassava peels and feed them straight to animals. Cassava contains cyanogenic compounds and it has to be fermented and dried properly first. That one extra step is exactly why most people never touch it. But agricultural research groups have already developed and proven the process, turning properly treated peels into what's called High Quality Cassava Peel mash or HQCP. And feed millers, especially in cassava heavy zones like Benue, Kogi and Nasarawa, are actively buying it. It solves their cost problem with imported feed ingredients, and it solves the processor's waste problem, both at once. If this is your entry point, look up the basic HQCP processing steps. Run a small test batch first and take samples directly to feed millers before you scale up your collection at all. And here are we, at ridge number 1, the one that would change how you look at farms. I'm talking about palm kernel shell. After palm kernel is extracted, you are left with hard dark shells. For years, this was genuinely worthless, sometimes just used as cheap road fillers. Today it's different. There is an established market for palm kernel shells as biomass fuel, including international trade. Countries like South Korea and the Netherlands actually import them as a cleaner alternative to coal for power generation. Locally, they also get processed into activated carbon used in water filtration system. Now the moment people hear the word exported, they make a mistake. They think, okay, I need to become an exporter. Don't do that. Exporting is not where you start. Your first move is simply supplying an existing local processor or an established exporter who is already aggregating shells from multiple palm oil mills. You are not their competitor. You are their supplier. Palm oil processing happens at a massive scale across Nigeria, and a huge amount of this shell waste isn't being properly collected or channeled to the people who actually want it. If you are in a palm oil producing region, start by aggregating from 2 or 3 local mills, dry and bag it properly, and approach that exporter or activated carbon processors as your first customer. Just know this, buyers at this level want consistent volume, not a one-time bag. If you can't supply regularly, you won't hold on to a serious buyer for long. Now harvest cycle, we've reached the roadmap. This is where I want you to pay serious attention, most especially if you are starting from zero. Pick whichever one of these 7 is physically closest to you. Don't chase the best opportunity if it's 3 states away from where you live. Find 5 to 10 suppliers, the farms or processors, currently throwing these material away for free. Then before you spend a single dollar on equipment, find 3 to 5 potential buyers and ask them exactly what form, moisture level, and volume they need. Work out your landed cost, collection, transport, drying, packaging, and then do one small test transaction before you commit to anything bigger. Only after that test actually works should equipment even enter the conversation. Customer first, equipment second, every single time. If you've got very little capital, start with something like groundnut shells or baggers, where aggregation alone is the business. If you are near cassava processing, look seriously at cassava peels. Near palm oil mills, palm kernel shells. Near cocoa farms, the husks are sitting there right now today. So there it is, 7 materials being thrown away across farms in Africa right now, while somebody else, somewhere, is quietly building a real business out of almost the same exact thing. Now tell me, harvest cycle, which one is closest to you? Cassava, palm, maize, cocoa, or groundnut? Drop your country again in the comments and let's figure out together which opportunity is hiding around your area. If this was useful, hit that subscribe button and join the harvest cycle. We've got so much more coming. So many Africans to enrich. I'll see you in the next one.